Since the court has decided that Amber did in fact defame Johnny Depp, I thought it would be interesting to review the available audio that Amber and at times Johnny recorded to highlight what gaslighting could look like in a situation like this. If you haven't already, please view my 4-minute video on Gaslighting 101 to see 8 common tactics that abusers use to gaslight their victims, and then come back here and see if you can identify what tactic is being used in each audio clip that we review. The following clips are publicly available, and I'll put a link in the description below so that you can hear the full versions of the audio for yourself.
But every time you don't like what I say and you fucking run away, we'll never work out anything. You can't run away every fight. You can't. It's easy. It's not brave. It's not strong. It's harder to say to somebody, I want to work this out. I want to face what I have. I want to face what you have. I want to work it out with you. You're not working it out. You're running away. And then you make me be the bigger person every single time and come to you and knock on the door and come to this house and say, hey, we're married. It's supposed to be sacred. Calm down.
I made you.
Yes, by default. If you're never the one to do it, one of us is, and I'm the one to do it every time. It means I'm the bigger person every time. It means I have to be the strong one. It means every time I have to fight for our relationship, and you get to be lazy. You get to be cowardly. I don't know what it is.
What are you here for? What do you need me for?
Once again, I am fighting for the relationship.
With a guy that you don't fucking trust or like? Why?
I did not say I didn't like you. I love you. You're my favorite person in the world.
I don't see how.
I remember what I said at the beginning. I'm sorry you feel like you can't imagine it. But I said this to you at the beginning of this conversation. I said, you're my favorite person in the whole world. If you weren't the most magnetic, shiny, beautiful, interesting, dynamic person I had ever met in my life, it would be so easy to walk away from this bratty thing that you do.
Untrustworthy.
Did you hear what I just said? No. I said I can't trust. That's not meaning you're untrustworthy. It means that we've created a situation. And I'm telling you what you do to create it too. We've created a situation in which trust can't grow. It's like it's trampled every single time, and we need a marriage. That's why I sat down. Do you not remember me sitting down at the very beginning of this conversation and saying just that to you? Say, I know you got married for security and for safety. So did I. We did not get married because it was something that we're doing, because it was something we could walk away. We wanted a foundation. No?
Yes, I wanted to make you my wife.
Yes, but you could just have me as your girlfriend if you didn't want the foundation. And you told me, and maybe you go back on it now. Fine, okay, cool. Lie about that. I don't know. You told me you wanted a foundation. You told me you wanted the security. You wanted the safety. You liked the foundation. At the beginning, you said, I really like having that. It feels safe. So don't argue with me when I say it now.
I'm not arguing with you.
Oh, yeah, but you had to pick it apart.
By saying because I loved you and you're my wife? I wanted you to be my wife. That's picking it apart?
No.
Then how did I pick it apart?
No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to fight about a fight. I want to fight about the semantics.
How come when I come up with a point, you can't answer it? You don't want, or suddenly you don't want to answer it?
What am I not answering? Because I don't want to fight about this new thing? No, I don't want to. I said you wanted the safety and security, and you stopped me. You interrupted me, and then you said, what? Because I wanted to have you as my...
I didn't interrupt you. You asked me, right? You said, right?
I meant you interjected. I meant you said. You said. How about that? See, now, is this better? I answered you. I addressed what you're saying. Now, can we please not fight about that?
And I said, because I love you.
I said loved.
We're talking about a fucking event that's past tense. If I used loved, my apologies. It doesn't mean I don't love you now.
So there is a lot in this first clip here. I'm going to start with the tactic of using kind words as weapons. So in the beginning, Amber is saying that Johnny's lazy and cowardly because he runs away from the argument and doesn't want to resolve it. And then she says, to smooth things over in that argument, that he's the most shiny, beautiful, dynamic person. If it wasn't for that, then she could just walk away from this, quote, bratty little thing that he does. And so it's that back and forth, that push and pull really is common with the borderline personality disorder, where you idealize and then devalue someone. And she's actually doing it within the same sentence or within the same argument. Then there's shifting blame. So that's not owning up to your own behavior, but pointing at someone else. Although she does say, we've created a situation where trust can't grow, this conversation is heavily focused on Johnny being the main impetus of why the relationship isn't working, because he doesn't behave in the way that she wants him to behave. Now, what I found most interesting about this clip is at minute 2:42, where she actually asked Johnny the question, we wanted the foundation, no? She had that intonation, like she was like, no, like asking a question. And at 2:44, he says, yes, I wanted to make you my wife. I love you. At around minute 3:04, she says, don't argue with me when I say it now, referring to talking about their safety and their foundation. So confusingly, Johnny says at minute 3:12, well, how am I arguing with you? I said because I loved you and I wanted to make you my wife. And then 3:24, Amber is saying, well, I don't want to fight about semantics. And Johnny responds at 3:34, like, how come whenever I make a point, you can't answer it? So with gaslighting, when you do try to hold someone to the fire or try to ask them a question or get information from them, they will try to distract you, changing the topic, answering question with a question, talking in circles. So you can see some distracting going on here. And then rewriting of history. This is interesting. This is actually happening real time in their conversation. So at minute 3:39, she's saying, well, you stopped me and you interrupted me, when he interjected about saying, I wanted you to be my wife. Now, if you recall, she did ask a question back at minute 2:42. We wanted a foundation, no? And so Johnny points this out to her. He says, I didn't interrupt you. You asked me. And then Amber just shuts down and says, you know what? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to fight about this or that. And then at minute 4:02, she accuses Johnny of saying, you said you loved me, in the past tense. So he said, I love you at 2:42, when she was trying to accuse him of picking apart and arguing with her about that, about their relationship in the foundation. He was like, how did I pick it apart? Because I had said I loved you and I wanted you to be my wife. He's speaking in past tense because he's talking about something that he just said that happened in the past like 30 seconds. And then now, even though she says, I don't want to fight about semantics, she's trying to say, well, you said loved. This is a very circular conversation. It's not logical. And we're really getting a real-time view of what Johnny had to deal with whenever they did have a discussion. And I would kind of want to bolt too, because it's not productive to be in an argument or a discussion with Amber Heard, because she has her own set of facts and you have to behave the way that she wants you to, or it is what it is, or you're going to be in a fight.
You do not fight for me, and then you want to sit here and make me sound so terrible to be around.
Fight for you?
You don't. Everything I've already explained.
No,
10 minutes.
No, fight for you. I don't understand.
You never ever do the work. Put in the work. If we're arguing about something, you don't ever try to get to the bottom of it, figure out, make the peace. You want to make it easy on you, so you split. You don't fight for me. You don't fight when there's a problem. You don't come to me. You don't make peace with me. You never extend an olive branch. You're never the bigger guy. You're never the one that's like, okay, I'm going to put my own feelings aside for a second and say, this is bigger than us. Let's stop fighting. You never are the one to come and knock on my door. You take me for granted.
It's not true. It's not true. I'm not the one who fucking throws fucking pots and
that's
different.
Fucking
else at me.
That's different. That's one does not negate the other. That's irrelevant. It's a complete non sequitur. Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just because there are vases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
Really, I should just let you throw.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth and then making non sequiturs.
I'm giving you a situation.
No, you're trying to justify how you don't or do come to the door.
No,
based on whether I throw pots and pans. It's irrelevant.
No, I'm justifying how you seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
And you're justifying that by saying I throw pots and pans? Okay, cool. Let's talk about everything you do wrong.
I'm not the one who fucking did that. I didn't.
So that makes sense. That's clear. Yeah.
The only time I ever threw anything at you was when you fucking threw the cans at me in Australia.
Why are you trying to justify who throws things based on whether or not you come knocking on the door?
Because that is a fucking irrational and violent fucking maneuver. So a man would want to get out of that area so that he doesn't get so fucking angry that he actually does pop the fucking wife.
How does one inform the other?
Oh, man. Go home and listen to the tape. Please. That's what they're for.
Yes. You listen to the fucking tape.
Oh, I'm gonna.
So will I.
The main reason I included this clip is just to show how little of importance it is to Amber when she's talking about physical violence or destruction of property. And I'll discuss this in a part 2 of my video about Amber Heard gaslighting the public. But she is upset that Johnny is not fighting for her, not trying to get to the root of the issue during arguments, and wants to make it easy on him, so he just splits and leaves. And so I think this could be showing a little bit of minimizing thoughts and feelings, because Johnny's trying to get her to understand, well, I split because you're throwing pots and pans and things get a little volatile, so I need to get out of that. That's a dangerous situation for a person to be in, or a man to be in, when their wife is acting volatile. And so she's just not getting the point. She's saying it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant to their discussion. And you can see towards the end of the clip, Johnny's just exasperated, like, oh my gosh, just listen to the tapes. And I think he wants her to see, just see how it sounded, and maybe you can understand why I wanted to split.
I know you want to live in a world where everyone just says yes to you and doesn't question you or criticize you ever.
Don't insult me like that, please.
But that's not the case. It's not why you're with me. I am honest with you. I'm sorry. You don't want to be held accountable. I get it.
I'm not sure you're so honest with me.
Well, that's your...
Watching you live in front of Travis last night was really a spectacle.
That's your problem, and that's your whole thing that you've created. So I'm not going to sit here and go over every fight we've had. I'm not going to refight this fight. You have something you're holding on to about Travis. Go fuck. Go do it. Go run away together. I don't know what you're fucking holding on to, but you have created that. I have no part of that. I don't know what you're fucking latched onto in your brain, what stray hairs have fucking commingled and tangled in your brain to make you think you've really figured some sort of thing out. But this is not unusual for you. It's like almost every fight, I can pretty much guarantee you find something that you can manipulate.
Let's ask Travis tonight.
Yes, why don't we invite Travis into our fucked up, broken ass, 3 fucking wheeled truck of a marriage? Why don't we crash it straight into the wall? Because no one knows us better than fucking Travis.
You're just afraid that the truth will come out.
What truth?
That you lied.
What are you fucking talking about? I didn't fucking even have a fucking thing to lie about. What are you fucking talking about? Every fucking fight, there's a new thing that you've convinced yourself is a lie.
I said to you, Amber, tell Travis what you just did. Did you just fucking, did you punch me in the fucking jaw? Did you fucking kick? Did you? Did you? And you wouldn't say fucking, you said, I don't know what you're talking about. Never fucking,
I see the
never
lie.
Fucking happened.
I see the lie. You really should run with this. In fact, maybe you and Travis can go and do a tell-all about an investigative
study. Stop with
the
attitude, right? Sorry. Stop with the attitude.
Sorry.
You're getting all bunched up.
Sorry.
Travis, I said, come up here because I didn't want anything to happen.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's coming what? Save me?
No, go ahead. Continue. You Travis to the rescue.
No, that was the last one. You can go. You go. That was the last insult.
You called me a liar, and yet
I watched you lie.
You called me a liar.
I watched you lie. I heard it. I was right there.
There's no what. You still haven't told me what lie it is. But yet every single fucking time, you do this every single fucking time.
We'll talk to Travis.
I'm not fucking talking to nobody.
No,
fuck that. You go fucking jerk him off. I don't care. I really could care less. It's you every single time. You latch onto some sort of thing. When I already told you, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about. You still haven't even told me what it is. But run with it.
I have told you what it is.
No, you haven't.
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, Tell Travis what just happened.
You told me to do it. You
Yeah.
told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the
You're right.
fucking thing. And you
figured
in
it
the
out.
face. And you said, no, fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I
didn't
watched
punch
you lie. And then
I didn't punch you,
and
by
then
the way. I'm sorry that I didn't
punched
hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You've been a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah,
no, when you fucking have a closed fist.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
How are your toes?
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
that's the difference between me
toes.
and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start physical fights?
You're such a baby!
Because
Grow the fuck up,
because you start physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable. Every single time. What's your excuse when there's not a physical fight? Then what's the excuse there?
What I find interesting about this clip is that Amber just recently sat down for an interview, and when the interviewer, I think it was Savannah Guthrie, I could be saying her name wrong, she read the transcript about how Amber Heard admitted to physical violence, and Amber Heard's response was that these audio tapes that Amber herself recorded and submitted into evidence are not evidence of abuse on her part, but evidence of a negotiation with her and her abuser, in which she says that she's taking the blame in the situation, and that basically we're all taken out of context. What I see here is basically Amber not wanting to hear from a third party about her own actions, and so she's deflecting or trying to distract Johnny, changing the topic, asking questions, trying to throw him off that train of thought so she doesn't have to have her feet to the fire with it. She is also lying, in which Johnny calls her out at minute 14:06. Around that time, he's like, I watched you lie in front of Travis. When she had just claimed prior, I'm the only one that's going to be honest with you. You have all these yes men around you, but I'm the one that's telling you the truth. And he's like, but I watched you lie. So she's really trying to disorient and distract him from objective reality and what's actually happening. And then she gets so incensed that she starts to mock and be sarcastic with him, saying, why don't y'all guys just run off together and do it, and all kinds of things. And then we get to the part about the hit versus the punch. And again, this is the rewriting of history, retelling stories in a way that she feels would be more favorable to her. Hey, no, I didn't punch you. I was just hitting you. So that kind of, I guess in her mind, makes it better. And Johnny says, no, I know what it feels like to be punched. So he's trying to reassert and establish himself into his experience and what happened to him. And Amber just double downs on what we know now is a lie based on the court case and testimony of Travis McGivern. He said that he did witness her punch Johnny with a closed fist. And Johnny said that happened as well. So the lying and distracting to twist the narrative is what we're kind of seeing in this clip. I don't really see a negotiation of her saying, yeah, you're right. It was me. I hit you. Oh, I'm taking the blame. This is her being very, very aggressive. Sarcasm is a form of, or is considered a form of aggressive communication style when we're talking about communication skills. And I have done groups on assertive, passive aggressive, and aggressive communication. And a lot of times people do use sarcastic humor. But when you're dealing with certain topics and sensitive topics and you're talking about conflict, sarcasm really doesn't have a place there, because it can be and often is interpreted as being aggressive. And so we try to minimize that in effective communication skills as much as possible.
Anytime anything goes wrong, you split. I feel like it's your first thing. And it's unnecessary. It's not always you're splitting because there's blows or because there's yelling or anything. We split most times when I'm still speaking in this volume and nothing has been thrown or hit or anything. No, I can change certain things that are hurting you. But I know I can't blame myself entirely for going straight to the fucking finish line, the first sign of stress yesterday. I mean, you've given me this time here on the couch, and it's amazing that we can actually talk. But I never feel that safe. I constantly feel like you're about to fucking split, and I don't want to feel like that. You made me feel meaningless.
You threw me out of the bedroom.
Yeah, why wouldn't I if I know that you're about to split? I mean, that's what I'm saying. You
wasn't about to split.
You always split, so that's why wouldn't I mean? I do blame myself for my actions.
I was
yesterday,
laying in
but
bed
I also
watching
don't
television, man. I
I
was laying in bed watching television.
I fucked up last night. I'm not going to defend myself, but I also can't blame me going to the finish line, and that's always where you drive it.
So in this clip, we see a mixture of blame shifting and denying wrongdoing. So Amber's saying, you know, I can't blame myself entirely for this. And at the same time, she does seem to accept responsibility by saying, hey, I messed up. I'm not going to defend myself. But, you know, you drive it there. I take it there because you drive it there. So there really is no accountability. There's the twisting or the mixture of, there's a mixture of denial and shifting of blame. So making Johnny seem as though it's his fault for her actions and that she's just responding to something that hasn't even happened yet.
I know you want to respond, and I know you want to defend yourself. Listen to me. Defending yourself by throwing someone under the bus is not going to look good.
I'm not, it's not about that. It would not be about me throwing you under the bus. You know what it would be? It would be released through documented people coming on the record and having the protection to do so that haven't had yet. It would be eyewitness statements. It would be evidence, tons of it, and it would be through years. And it would be unbelievable to imagine that either I'm in a secret fake club, or B, I've had
a secret what?
I've had a secret fight club, or that I have been plotting to do this for 3 years, and while taking pictures of it and documenting it, just saving it up for the right time when I'm not asking for any money and have nothing financial to gain from it. But no one is going to believe that. No one is going to believe that one of the two alternatives, either I'm in a fight club, or I've been going through hair and makeup, or going through makeup through all these years, where I have corroborating text messages between people that match those dates of those timestamp validated photos. But it is insanely cross corroborated. Then it is a plan. I'm going to put makeup on myself and take pictures throughout years and just sit on it for years. While having this like imaginary life run parallel to it. Do you understand that the pictures I have match with like text messages to my mom back and forth about it, you know, and text messages between, say, Raquel and my mom, or Raquel and my dad. And all of that won't be me throwing you in the bus. That will be evidence in this case, which I will have. It will be criminal as well, because I cannot go on Friday and file without filing a police statement first. And the only reason I haven't filed that police statement, which has been used against me, by the way, every day, and the only reason I won't do it, I haven't done it, is because I don't want to hurt you, and that means it goes out of my hands. And we have a third party prosecutor come, and a criminal lawyer come, and they went, like, the problem is, hearing from you, like, your biggest struggle is that it's the most solid evidence case of domestic violence I've ever seen. And if you give this over to them or present any part of it, they will prosecute him. And I felt like I'm not, like, I would never want that for you. Because it's hard for me to even understand. I don't call myself, like, in my head, it's hard for me to even accept any sort of victimdom ever. And
Amber, listen, here's what
I don't want to hurt you.
I understand, and I don't want to hurt you either. I'm only going to say this. I love you. I love you. And I've always loved you. And I know that, look, you do whatever you feel you have to do. I'm telling you now, it's a mistake to go to court. But if you want to go to court, we'll go to court. I would rather take care of it a different way. I think it would be very good for you, and I think it would be very good for me. But you know what?
I've been called a liar,
baby,
and I've been called a gold digger.
Baby,
everyone is.
Baby, Amber, I didn't call you those things. I didn't call you those things.
It is all from your side, and if you don't believe me, then why are we talking? It's so pointless to even talk like we trust or love or respect each other at all if you don't believe me what I'm saying. And you know it, and I know you. I respect you too much to pretend for a second that you don't know these facts, and you know it.
Okay, and do you remember me 15 minutes ago saying, let me make a call, let me get on this, and I'll try and get back in touch with you? Okay?
Yeah.
So let's not jump. Let's not jump on me, okay?
I'm not trying to jump on you. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna try and get through, see what the is going on, see what the has been happening, and I will get back to you. I'll call your mom, and but I you know, I hope.
I don't want it to go. I don't want it to. I didn't want any of it. I don't want it to be.
It's been going on too long, Amber, and we just gotta stop this. Just gotta stop it.
I don't know how to get my reputation back.
We write a letter together.
That makes.
Saying that we're going to take this out of the public eye. Saying that we're going to try and work this out on our own. Saying that the media has created such a hateful storm that it's sickening, that we love each other, and that we want to make sure each other is okay. Have we had fights in the past? Have we had this or whatever? They already know all that. Don't matter. Here's the deal.
No, it matters. It makes. You have no idea. Every ounce of my credibility has been taken from. I mean, and done so in a dishonest way. You know.
Amber, the abuse thing is we've got to deal with that. Yeah. We got to deal with that, Amber.
I don't have any way of my credit is my credibility. You know what? I don't.
And why did you put that out there?
I did not. You forced me. Your team forced me to by going on the offense.
I didn't force you to.
From the very beginning, I promise. Look up the timelines to these things. Everything is. Forget it. Forget it. You don't believe what I say. You don't believe what I say. But I did not. I did not choose this. Every step of the way has been an offense.
So in this clip, Amber's very concerned with her image, her credibility. She talks about how every ounce of her credibility has been taken and that she wants her reputation back. And for that reason, she's been leaking information about her abuse claims to the media. And so what I find interesting is the blame shifting that occurred. First, Johnny asked her, why did she put the information out there? If ever, she was worried about her credibility. And she said, I did not. You forced me to. And so the thing is, we all have to own our own actions. So if she was going to put it out there, just say, yep, I put it out there. And this is the reason why. Not saying that someone forced your hand, because you always have a choice. Whether it seems like you don't or not, there's always a choice that we make. Additionally, she talks about how unbelievable it would be for her to have all this evidence and people would not believe that she was in either a secret fight club or had been plotting to do this for 3 years, saving it up for the right time, and going through makeup when everything is insanely cross-corroborated. And I think what falls flat here, from what we know now in hindsight, is that it isn't cross-corroborated. And a lot of her own witnesses contradicted each other. And the witnesses for Johnny also did not corroborate her version of events.
I did not call the cops. I think them so stupid.
Io called the
I did not
cops.
call the cops.
You told Io to call the
I
cops.
did not call the cops, and I did not give them any statement when they came. I've been trying to protect you.
You told Io to call the cops.
While it was happening?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because the last time that it got crazy between us, I really did think I was going to lose my life, and I thought you would do it on accident. And I told you that. I said, oh my God, I thought the first time.
Amber, I lost a finger, man. Come on. I had a mineral can of mineral spirits thrown at my nose.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
yes.
It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
It doesn't matter if it's a fair fight.
Exactly, because you're bigger and you're stronger. And so when I say that I thought you could kill me, that doesn't mean you counter with you also that you lost your own finger. I am not trying to attack you here. I'm just trying to point out the fact of why I said call 911. Because you had your hands on me after you threw a phone in my face, and it got crazy in the past, and I truly thought I need to stop this madness before I get hurt.
Oh my God.
And I never think about myself that way. I never defend myself that way. I never see myself as a victim. Under oath, obviously, they're going to have to say they didn't see it in front of me and other people that have heard them.
You're going to have to do this under oath too, you know.
I will, because the unfortunate part is, I can talk about all of this.
Do you believe all this, Amber? Do you believe all this?
Oh, yes, yes.
You believe I'm an abuser. You believe I'm an abuser.
In May, in December, in April.
Do you believe you're an abuser? Do you believe you abused me physically?
Do I physically believe? Do I believe I physically abused you?
Yes.
Do you know I'm 115? Well, not anymore, but I was 115 pounds. I'm a 115-pound woman, and it says I have the capacity to abuse.
That's not the question. That's not the question.
Have I ever been able to knock you off of your feet?
You started.
Off your balance?
You started these things.
You're going to get up on the stand, Johnny, and say she started it? Really? I have never been able to overpower you. That's the difference between me and you.
Why did you try?
And that's the difference that the whole world and the jury and the judge will see. There's a very big difference between me and you.
And so the rewriting of history begins. In the previous clips, we clearly see when it comes to conflict in their relationship, Amber has an issue with Johnny not facing the conflict and always being, in her own words, lazy and cowardly, running away, and that she's always the one to try to come and get them to talk things out, but he flees the situation. She even admits herself to throwing pots and pans and being otherwise volatile and hitting him. So the behavior that we're seeing in past clips when they're still together versus how she's behaving in these clips when obviously they're going through the divorce, the settlement, there's depositions happening. She clearly has a different tone and has rewritten how events have occurred. You can see even Johnny is kind of in shock after she says, I thought I'd lose my life. I thought you'd do it on accident. And he goes, oh my God, really? I'm the one that lost a finger. This and this happened to me. So that's the gaslighting. Like, she's trying to rewrite the history and say, well, I was scared and I thought this was going to happen and that was going to happen, when clearly she's been the instigator based on her own words on audio and to her therapist. And then she goes with the famous quote that we've all seen numerous times throughout the trial. Tell the world, Johnny Depp, a man, was a victim to domestic violence, and see how many people believe or side with you. And the reasoning for that statement, she goes on to say that, you're bigger, you're stronger. So if I say I felt afraid for my life, people basically are going to believe me because I'm a woman and you're a man. And, Johnny Depp's kind of like, oh my God, I think the light bulb went off and he realized what he was really dealing with, because individuals who don't seek treatment for their cluster B disorders can initially, in, the beginning, they can trick you. Maybe just think, okay, they're just, a toxic person or whatever it is. And then they really might have this grand scheme or just something that kind of just like, you didn't think they would stoop so low. When we look at the other clips, and he's really asking Amber, like, hey, do you believe all this? Do you believe I'm an abuser? And she emphatically says, yes, in May and December, all these incidents, which were on tape, all the audio is available for the public, and it's clear that Amber's the one that's being the aggressor. And so he asks her, well, do you think I'm an abuser? And so that pause there is really notable as she kind of like restates. I think that she wasn't expecting that. It doesn't fit her narrative, so it kind of threw her off. And then she says, well, I'm 115 pounds and I've never been able to knock you over or overpower you. And so that's where her mindset is. It's like, okay, I can start these things. I can hit him, do all this. And people are just going to believe me because I'm a woman and I'm smaller, and it just makes sense looking at it from a physical standpoint. Because someone is stronger than you, that means they're not supposed to retaliate, right? Because someone's stronger or bigger than you, that means they can't hit you back. And to me, that makes no sense. Like, try telling someone, like anyone that's had a chihuahua that like nips at your ankles, tell somebody, don't get that little thing off of you because it's like you're supposed to take them biting your ankle because you could like kick it across the room. I mean, it just, at a certain point, people get pushed to their limits and they do react. That's the whole dynamic of an abusive relationship. You have the abuser and you have the person that's reacting to that abuse. So whether the person's bigger or stronger, it doesn't matter. Abuse is abuse, and it's about control. And there's usually a history of someone who's an abuser being abusive in past relationships for that control reason. Someone that's been reacting to abuse, when they get into a healthy situation with a healthier partner, or even their past partners were healthier, you don't see the abuse because they're not an abusive person.
I loved you for so many years, but you know what? You didn't exist. You don't exist. You're not there. You're not there. You were a made up thing in my head. And I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Stop.
Can't believe it.
There's no need to be cruel on top of it.
You've been nothing but cruel, and I'm going to court with you.
I'm just sitting here defending myself, and it makes you so angry.
You have not let up. You keep blaming. No, what you just said. What you just said to me. What you just said to me. You're defending yourself against me about something I didn't do, and I'm not going to fight with you because I know this lasts forever.
I said I could accept it next.
So in this clip, I've cut off a little bit of it, but again, I'll have the full audios in the description. But they're discussing, or Amber's discussing, Johnny's team leaking information to TMZ or to other news sources that put into question her credibility about some of her claims. Johnny is unaware who or if anyone on his team is actually leaking that, according to what he's saying here. And he said that he would make calls and try to figure out what's going on. But I think this also may be one of the reasons that Amber Heard felt justified in leaking stuff on her own to TMZ. I know she's denied it. Of course, we've had the testimony from TMZ, the timeline of things, and it just makes sense that she did leak some information to them. Not saying that Johnny's team didn't either. We haven't seen the proof of that, so I can't say whether or not it happened. But that's what they're discussing. And this isn't necessarily a clip about the exact technique she used in the gaslighting, but just showing how it all came full circle. And anyone who's dealt with a narcissist or personality disorder like borderline, histrionic, antisocial personality disorder, they've probably felt the words that Johnny said towards the end of this clip, where he said, you didn't exist, you don't exist, you're a made up thing in my head. And that's typically what it is, because a person with cluster B, their sense of self is not, especially borderline, their sense of self is not very stable, and they kind of shift between, they take on these different personas because they really don't know who they are or have a firm identity in that, or they're so afraid of being rejected that they try to be who you want them to be. And so it's all like coming crashing down for Johnny. He's just like, wow, like this is really what this is. And then Amber responds, well, you don't have to be cruel on top of it, but it's really just how he felt. And the last part I think too is significant. He says, well, I'm not going to fight with you because that shit will last forever. And again, arguing with someone with cluster B, you will never, it's not, arguments aren't necessarily about winning. It's about, you want to be able to compromise and see each other's point of view. But if you've ever been in a discussion with someone with cluster B who's not actively working and to improve on their behaviors, it is very circular and it's non-linear thinking, and a lot of times there's not based in any objective reality. And I hope you enjoyed this take on Amber Heard and Johnny Depp and gaslighting, part 1, and stay tuned for part 2, which is going to be Amber Heard and the gaslighting of the public. Thank you.